So in the bass boat world, they refer to running around the lake and checking spots as running and gunning or going on a milk run if you have places that you know. And for kayak fishing, that's what we're doing now. This is the fun part, the part that's exciting, the checking different places, the figuring out where to launch to get to the places that you find on Navionics or on Google Earth. And this is the hunt. This is part of it. It's the part I love. You know, this whole concept a lot of time depends on just spending a lot of time looking at maps, looking at aerial photography, getting on Google Earth. And sometimes it's just driving down the road and doing oh my gosh, look at that spot right there. I saw this spot that's really cool looking. Looks like it's got the access is about the width of a gator trail. And we're gonna pull up here and see if we can't slide into the water and see if there's some fish in this little slough, because it is just getting beat by the sun right now. So we're gonna give this a shot and see if we can't find us a big old bass. Oh yeah, that's what I like.
I like it.
I'm glad you said that. Pick your trash up, people. Man, you ought to be able to catch something on them fancy rods. All right, guys, so basically we drove around this morning and checked a few spots that were protected banks after looking at the predominant wind for the last couple days. The air temperature dropped last night, almost 20 degrees, and the water temperature this morning when we checked it was 12 to 15 degrees colder everywhere we went. But these fish are in staging areas right now. They haven't moved shallow. They're hanging on the docks, the deeper stumps, the drop-offs, the points, the hard bottom stuff, where they stage pre-spawn and where they recover post-spawn. So it's time to go find a school hanging under a dock and jack some jaws, man.
Find some steeper bank, harder bottom, we should catch something.
Let's do it.
I was hopping it, is what I was doing. He ain't no little baby either. He just found out he was hooked. I'm gonna land it on whatever side he wants to be landed on. He just barely hooked too, so I may not even get him to the boat. Oh, look at that fish! Boy, he was just barely hooked. Oh my gosh. All right, so basically I was doing what I really love to do this time of year, and I was yo-yoing a lipless crankbait. Learned that technique years ago on Lake Guntersville, popped it up, and as soon as it started back down, I felt the thump on the line and I set the hook. And evidently I had her inside the lip for a little bit, but one hook had gotten her right there in the, well, just below the nostril. And so I played her out really good in that nice limber rod. Man, she's big. She's probably 6, 6.5, 7. Man, beautiful fish.
Yeah, look at a square fish. That thing is a flat football. That thing is a little freaking chunk. Look at that dude. Let it fall, ripped it out of the grass instead of yo-yoing it. I was making the same thing. Second rip, crushed it. And I'm in 10 foot of water. Caught that fish in about 6 foot of water. The grass is up to 4 feet from the top.
Yep, that's where I was.
That's what you call making adjustments. All right, so one of the things that I get asked all the time is about standing up in the kayak and fishing. Like, man, I can't believe you stand up in that thing. But like, so here's a perfect example. I'm in the Wilderness Systems Attack. I got 1 foot on the deck. I got the other foot up on the gunnel, and I'm literally pushing on that pontoon. You see a little bit of wobble? That's what's called initial stability. So the boat has to have some, you know, unwetted surface so that it produces less drag. But once you push it over and it gets to that chime, which is that little line right there, it really engages and just locks in. I can stand and fish in this boat all day long. It performs a lot like a stand-up paddleboard. When the wind's really bad and I don't have my power pole, I just lay everything down, and that way there's nothing in the back to weather vane the kayak. And it's such a low profile, it cuts through the wind great. If worrying about standing up in a kayak is holding you back, don't, because even as big as I am, and a lot of the modern fishing kayaks, I can stand on one side, so they're plenty stable. Fish. I dropped it. Well guys, I'm gonna go ahead and fall on the sword and tell you, I've had 2 fish pick this bait up and spit it out real quick. You know, even faster than I can set the hook. And normally I've got time, you know, to even position myself for the hook set. But I left all my scent at home, and there's probably some kind of foreign scent on the bait. Me touching my face and getting bacteria or human scent on there. Maybe like something, toothpaste, something from my beard. You know, who knows? But that's one thing that you really should do. The colder the water is, the more sensitive they are to the taste and to the smell. And so, you know, I don't have scent on here today, and it's already cost me what I'm sure is a couple of fish because they hit it and spit it before I could set the hook.
All right, let me tell you a little bit about this dang little stick that's on the back of my boat, my power pole. A day like today, as windy as it is, you know, 10 to 15 mile an hour winds, I could not fish the way I'm fishing without it. These fish are in 4 to 8 foot grass flats, wind blowing all across them as fast as they can, and I'm able to stop right here, fish this entire grass flat before I blow over top of it. Absolutely love that thing. Got it. All right, so what I was doing is I'm fishing this deeper grass, and I was getting hung up in a lot of lily pads and lily pad stems with the lipless crankbait. So I switched to a chatterbait. Chatterbait comes through the grass really easy, and I was just slow rolling it along the bottom and bringing it up over clumps of grass as I was going, and he absolutely hammered it on the other side of a clump of grass. There was no doubt that was a fish.
Second cast. Oh. Yeah. Little chunk. Man, he gobbled that chatterbait, Gene. I'm fishing it upside down. It's right there in front of you is where I hit grass.
Really good one, head shaking everything. Oh, big old pickerel. Well, it can't always be bass. That would explain the big old head shake. Whoa, dude. Come on now. I'm gonna let you go.
So I love this little Yeti hopper because it basically sits in dead space and doesn't really take up any room on the kayak. It's also got a hard bottom. More importantly, the whole thing's waterproof. When it's zipped completely up, it actually doubles as a life preserver because it's got trapped air inside it. But one of the things that's frustrating about it for a lot of folks is if you put ice in it, and especially on a hot day when some of the ice starts to melt, it gets your food soggy. So put your ice in a dry bag and throw it inside your Yeti hopper. Makes for a great way to keep your food cool and keep it from getting soggy. Well guys, the sun is almost dropped below the trees. We got a pretty good paddle back. Got to thank my good buddy Gene Flukemaster Jensen for joining me and having the hot stick today, finding the big fish. So it's always better when two guys can fish together, compare notes, strategize, explore, divide and conquer. And we did just that on this Lake Seminole, Florida River exploration trip. Listen, when you're trying to find fish that have moved shallow late winter and moving into the spring, we're still winter here in Florida, but it gets spring a lot sooner. Transition areas, creek channels, river channels leading into spawning flats. The fish pull back out anytime volatile weather comes back in, and they're on the drops, they're on the points, and they're in deep submerged grass beds. So as always, get out and spend some time on the water to become a better angler. Don't just sit here and watch me take this stuff and actually get out there and do it. And I promise you, you'll enjoy the results. So we'll see you next time for more Kayak Bassing TV. Thanks for all the support. We appreciate it. And I'm gonna keep fishing, but you guys gotta go. Go do something else.